Greetings to you all. My name is Sven. I just really need to speak to someone, to let it out and perhaps ease my conscience before it is too late. I have made the biggest mistake of my life. I work as a security guard officer in a small port in Europe, and I have been in the job for almost a decade, now without any major incident. I did not know that it would change 9 days ago in one of the worst manners. That night, at around 7 AM during my last patrol, I heard faint tapping sounds coming from the container yard. I paid attention while walking in the yard, shining my flashlight on containers as a reaction to the tapping that grew louder as I approached the impending doom. Under 6 minutes, I finally located the container and could clearly hear someone tapping from inside it. Those containers were emptied earlier in the day, I remembered, baffled by the fact that someone instead of at least something had been mistakenly forgotten inside. The moment I tapped on the container to make my presence known, the person trapped in the storage box also tapped from inside it, on the same spot and at the same time, almost as if that person knew what I would do. "Who's there? Who's inside?" I asked, certain that it could just be a stevedore, trapped inside, following a mistake or even a prank, and I wanted to play a little bit with the person. I was answered with silence. With my radio, I contacted my colleague Lana to explain the situation to her, and we even laughed a little bit about that, persuaded that it was either a mistake or a prank. However, the seriousness of the situation resurfaced when I gave the container number to Lana and she could not find it in any record whatsoever. Please help me. Open the door." I heard a faint male voice coming from inside. For a few seconds, I was frozen in place, shocked and unable to answer because he really sounded like me. "Sir, you all right?" I asked, after regaining my composure. "I am not all right. Please help me. Open the door," the man answered. "How did you end up in there?" I asked with a smile, still willing to joke with him about it before I help him. "Please help me. Open the door," he pleaded again, with the same tone, like some kind of recording prepared for the situation. "Really?" It was true. "I thought you were pulling a prank, Goran," another security officer said while arriving on the scene. "Please help me. Open the door," the man said. "What? Kinda sounds like you, bro," Goran noticed. "Who's that?" he added. "That is me," the man spoke. "You hurt?" I asked, thinking that it was enough, and we had to let him out. "I am hurt. I am bleeding. I am feeling cold. Please help me. Open the door," the man said. I approached, ready to help, but Goran stopped me on my track, squinting his eyes as if he just noticed something wrong. I could agree that someone speaking like that and using full words instead of contractions seemed strange. However, that man could just be disoriented and especially needed help. "How did you end up in there?" Goran questioned. Once again, no answer. "Who are you?" he added. "I am me," the man spoke. "You who? What's your name?" Goran asked. No answer. "You work here?" I asked. "No. The sun will soon rise. Please help me. Open the door." "The sun? How do you know that?" Goran asked, but the man stayed silent. "Maybe he got a watch," I suggested. "It's all dark in there," Goran pointed out. "An electronic one," I again suggested, trying to help the man's case. "How many are you in there?" I added. "Me," the man spoke. "Where you coming from?" Goran randomly asked. "From far away. The sun will soon rise. Please let me out. Please help me. Open the door," the man said. "Where exactly?" I questioned. "Where there is no sun. Please, the sun will soon rise. Please help me." "Open the door," the man answered, after a lot of arguing with Goran and pleading from the man. Other security guards and other colleagues from different departments also arrived on the scene, prompting the reluctant Goran to finally succumb to pressure and let me open the door to rescue the man. I began the process to open the storage steel box, while Goran and the others stood behind me, guns and flashlights ready to prevent any kind of foul play. I pulled the right side open and expected the man to appear, but he did not move. I pulled the left side open and unveiled the horror that awaited for us. There was nobody and nothing in the container, except for a wooden mannequin covered with strange symbols carved on it. That thing had clearly its place in a mystic temple or a shrine instead of a steel box. The walls of the container were also covered with bizarre drawings and symbols. "I told you not to open that door," a now trembling Goran spoke. At that instant, the mannequin tilted its head to the left, making cracking sounds, and a smile mysteriously carved itself on its face before the mannequin turned into dust from its head to its feet, and the dust escaped from the container. We looked at the whole phenomenon, frightened, paralyzed, powerless, and also mentally broken at the realization that we might have released a calamity into the city and the world, something we do not even know the nature or the capacity of. The day after, Goran was found mysteriously dead in his living room. No wound, no fight, no sickness, no nothing. He was just dead, an expression of pure fright stuck on his face. That entity, in addition to being terrifying, was also vengeful. Since I have been checking the news relentlessly, for I am sure to bear a part of responsibility for any tragedy that thing may cause, be it accident, disease or even death. That thing will come for us. But if that container was meant to imprison it, then it was certainly dangerous for the whole world too. Therefore, whatever happens to you, please accept these sincere apologies for our mistake. I am really sorry.
Story number 2.
It all started when my parents were gone for the weekend, and I feel really uncomfortable writing this. They left me and my 8-year-old brother at the house while they were at vacation, and they trust me since I was already 14. I was kinda happy because no one would get to boss me around, and I get to be in charge over my brother. All that happiness was gone when the week ended. Day 1 I was ready to play some video games later, so I got up early and prepared breakfast for my brother. He got up from bed saying, "Hey bro, my body it itches. Every single part of my body, it just itches, huh? Well, maybe you can take a bath later in the afternoon so the itch can go away. Just don't bother me when I'm playing, and for now let's just eat breakfast." The day went on as usual, but my brother's itch didn't go away. Day to right the moment my brother woke up, he complained about the itch. "Ugh, why won't this itch go away? I'm getting tired of it." I just told him to take another, more thorough bath. I felt bad for my brother because I've had a skin condition in the past and it really does itch, but I can't find a solution to his itch. Although when he was taking a bath, I noticed something on the walls, and I can't really describe it, but it looks like dust. Day 3, I was thinking of taking him to my friend's mother later, who was a nurse and can help us with my brother's condition. I tried to get out of the house, but no matter what I try, the door just won't open. It's like it's been locked, and it seems like the windows just disappeared. I don't know what is happening and I'm starting to freak out, but all I know is that someone doesn't want us to get out of the house. Day 4, things have gotten worse. The dust on the wall has become so thick that it covered every part of the house. The dust was on our food, furniture, and even on our water. And when I touched the skin of my brother this afternoon, and the texture, it just felt like the same texture of the dust stuck to our wall. Sometime in the evening, when I just finished washing the plates, I saw my brother crying. My taking off some of his skin, the blood started to flow freely out of his body. "Brother, it just itches. It never stops. I can't stop scratching. I immediately took the knife out of his hands. This house was clearly wrong. Its disease has spread to my brother, and we can't get out. Day 5 Jings didn't go better from here. In fact, it just got so much worse. I woke up from an afternoon nap. I knew there was something wrong. I heard loud screams upstairs, so I rushed to the first floor as I found my brother's skin all ripped off. His tears were rushing from his eyes, the blood stained on the floor. He kept screaming as he violently ripped off the skin from his leg. "Stop it, Greg, just stop it please. You need to stop, you are hurting yourself." "I can't stop, I just can't. It just itches so much. Please help me, it itches." I didn't know what to do. I stood there until he started to rip off his hair. I saw pools of blood start coming out from the top of his head. His eyes seemed like they were red from all his crying. "I can't stand it anymore, just kill me." He ran right down the stairs, headed to the kitchen, and he got a knife. I followed him down there, and before I could do anything, he stabbed his chest. I stood there not knowing what to do next. I was helpless and useless to my brother. All I could do was cry.
He kept stabbing himself while scratching until his body fell to the ground. Day 6, I slowly rise from my bed and reality came rushing through my brain. My brother was dead, and it took me a while to notice the dust on the wall.
It was so thick that you could barely see anything through it. The blood had dried up on the floor, and I could still imagine him just ripping off pieces of his skin. I coughed and coughed, and I just realized that I feel a bit weird. I can't describe it, but my body, it itches.